Good morning, students. Hope all of you are doing well. Today, I am going to discuss the last part of the chapter 2, motion. So, in this chapter, you see what is the mass. So, the previous types of motion and distance, displacement, speed, velocity, those things I have discussed in my last video. So, today only the last verse is remaining. So today I will discuss only that what is the mass and what is the weight and how to measurement of mass, by which instrument we can use to measure mass and which instrument we can use to measure weight. So those things today I will discuss. So let's start. What is mass? The mass of a body is defined as the amount of matter contained in it. So what is mass actually? How much matter is present in a body, that is actually its mass of a body. So the mass of a body is a constant quantity. It does not change with change of place or direction or application of a force. So mass, this is a mass. The SI unit of mass is kilogram. Two commonly used submultiples of kilogram are gram, milligram. Okay. So what is mass? The amount of matter present in an object is called its mass of an object, and that mass is a constant quantity and it does not change with change of place or direction or application of a force. So if you suppose you take a one thing and you just change the position of that thing, that due to the change of place, that mass is fixed, means mass cannot change. And if you change the direction of that things, that times also mass is a constant quantity, so that's why the mass is kept mass is constant. Or if you apply any force, that times also the mass is no change in mass of a body. And the SI unit of mass is kilogram, but without kilogram, two units are there to measure mass. One is the gram and milligram. So these are two submultiples of kilogram. So how to measurement of mass? The mass of a body can be measured by comparing it with a standard known mass. The simplest instrument used for this purpose is a beam balance. So we can use a beam balance to measure a mass. So see, this is called beam balance. So by using this simple beam balance, we can measure mass. So you hope all you can see this type of things. If you go to any shop, means that market, vegetable shop, those person are using this instrument to measure the vegetables. So actually that find out that what is the mass of those vegetables. Or and also these things is also available in the jewelry shop. This is actually the physical balance. The modified version of the beam balance called physical balance is also used to measurement of mass, and it is mainly used for scientific purposes. So for scientific purposes we can use this instrument, because to avoid the error, so for this we can use this instrument, and it is mainly used for scientific purposes and by jewelries for those instruments where high accuracy. So this instrument, what result we will get from it, that is highly accuracy, means no error is there, is so where high accuracy is needed. So for there, because when you buy the jewelry, that times also that measurement should be accurately. So that's why we can use that modified version of a beam balance. So this is physical balance we can use for those purposes. Nowadays electronic weighing machines is also used for measurement of mass, and that is also the electronic weighing machines are available is nowadays. So that is also help us to measurement of mass. Now is that another things is the weight. So this is a picture of an electronic weighing machine. So what is weight? We know that all objects fall downwards when left tree or unsupported. So we see that how that fruit is get down from the or fall from the tree. So it happens due to the force of pull, or means it is gravity. Because of gravity, if you throw anything in the upwards, that after a few times it will uh, back to the earth, because of that gravity or the force of pull exerted by the earth. The weight of an object is the force with which it is attracted by the earth towards its center. As the force of gravity changes from place to place, the weight of a body is also changes from place to place. So you see here, when you change the places, that mass is constant but weight is changed, because that different positions, different places, the weight is different. So that's why, due to that force of gravity, because force of gravity is also changes from place to place, that's why weight is also changes, because the weight is depends on the force of gravity. So that's why when force of gravity is changing, that time also the weight is also change. What is the units of weight? The SI units, since the weight is a type of force and the unit of force is Newton, the SI unit of weight is also a Newton, and the weight is also expressed in kilo force, mean kgf, and gram force gf. 1 kilogram force is defined as the force with which the earth attracts a body of mass 1 kg towards its center. Similarly, 1 gram force is defined as the force with which the earth attracts a body of mass 1 gram towards its center. It is a kgf, means that it's attract a mass of 1 kg, so that's why it's a kgf towards its center. And gf is that attract a 1 gram of mass towards its center, so that's why it is a 1 gf. And 1 kg equals to 9.8 Newton, and it is approximately, you can say, 10 Newton. How to measurement of weight? The device used to measure weight is called a spring balance. As the name suggests, the device you see, that is a spring balance, and consists of a spring. Suppose upper, so see this is a spring, the upper you see this which upper, and is fixed at a point. You see this how the spring is fixed at a point, and the lower end is attracted to a hook. So lower end there have a hook, see this hook, and to hang the object, how is hanging, see the load is hanged by this hook, and weight is to be measured. The spring has a pointer attached to it, and the whole system is closed in a metal case. So you see this how this, you will see this measurement also here is up is 500, 450, 400, 350, like this way the measurement is also same. So how much weight of this object, we can see that when you see this level we can understand, okay, so this is the weight. So how much the string is how much the stretch, that we can find out that this pointer help us to that what is the weight of this object. The front side of the metal case has a vertical slit and is marked with a scale. A spring balance works on the principle that when an object, means load, is suspended from the lower end of a spring, the spring gets stretched and stretched. Greater the load, more is the stretching, means when you put the greater load, that time that spring is more stretching. So now is the difference between mass and weight. So shortly I want to tell you something about that mass and weight. So mass and weight are terms that we use in day-to-day our activities. We often use the term weight when we actually mean mass of an object. Sometimes suppose we are for example, when we pick your full packet of school bag and you find it is heavy, becomes so that because of the books and other things inside it. But if you take 2 and 3 books and that lunch box out, the bag becomes lighter, yes or no? So the more the number of objects inside the bag and more is its mass and heavier it becomes. Okay, so in our day-to-day life, we sometimes we are confused in between mass and weight. But what is actually mass is it? So mass actually the how much matter is present in an object is called actually mass. So that's why when you pick up your school bag, that comes with some books and some other things also is inside. That's why it is heavier. But when you take out 2 and 3 books and the lunch boxes, lunch box, that time your bag becomes lighter. Why this? Because that you few number of objects you outside of the bags, and that's why your mass is decreasing, and that means actually so that more the number of objects inside the bag, more is the mass and it heavier it becomes, and that SI unit of mass is kilogram, but we can use some sub multiples are gram or milligram. But what is the weight? The weight of an object is the measure of force of gravity. Therefore, the weight of a body on earth is the gravitational force with which it is attracted towards the earth's center. The SI unit of weight is Newton, and the mass of a body remains same everywhere, but the weight of a body keeps changing. For example, a bag having mass 36 kg on earth will remain 36 kg only on the moon or any other heavenly bodies. But if a weight of an object is 48 Newton on earth, it will reduce to 1/6 on the moon, as the gravitational pull on the moon is 6 times lesser than the gravitational pull on the earth. So see, this weight is changing when you see any object's weight in earth, and if you that things when you again you check the weight in the moon, that will change, because that the moon is 6 times, the gravitational pull on the moon is 6 times lesser than the gravitational pull on the earth. So the object will weigh 8 Newton on the surface of the moon, because 48 Newton divided by 6, so it will 8 Newton. So the weight of an object is measured using a spring balance. The direction of the weight is always stated vertically downwards. Spring balance are of two types: extended spring balance and compression spring balance. Okay, so you see here actually this is a extension spring balance. You see in your book actually this is a extension spring balance is given here. But compression spring balance is another type of spring balance that is not given in your book. Okay, actually that type of spring balance we can use to some vegetable shops, that is also is available. Okay, so this is actually the difference between mass and weight. So what is that difference between mass and weight? Mass is the amount of matter present in an object is called mass, and weight is defined as the gravitational force acting on an object. And mass, the SI unit of mass is kilogram, and the SI unit of weight is Newton. A beam balance is used to measure the mass, and a spring balance can be used to measure the weight. Mass of an object will be same everywhere, but weight of an object varies from place to place. So this is the difference between mass and weight. So hope student you understood. Okay, and now here I am discussing few numericals problem which is based on this chapter 2 motion. So the first question is a car moves 360 km in 9 hours. Express the speed of the car in km per hour. So you see her speed is speed, you have to find out speed because distance is given and time is also given. So as we know speed equals to distance divided by time. So instead of distance you write down 360 km, instead of time you write down 9 hours. Then we will get 40 km per hour. Question number 2. A train moves at a uniform speed of 150 km per hour. how long will it take to cover 30 kilometers? So you see here speed is given, distance is given, so you have to find out what is the time. So as we know, speed equals to distance divided by time. So here small v is speed is denoted by small v, and a small a is denoted that distance is denoted by small s, and time is denoted by small t. So t equals to s by v. So instead of distance you write down 30 kilometer and divided by 150 kilometer per hour. So it will be 0.2 hour. Now question number 3. So you have just write down here, this is kilometer and this is kilometer per hour. Okay, now question number 3. A bus is moving at a constant speed of 20 meter per second. How much distance will it cover in 60 seconds? So speed, you see here speed is given 20 meter per second, and the time is also given 60 seconds. So you have to find out the distance. So as we know, speed equals to distance divided by time. So distance is equal to speed into time. So 20 into 60. So it will be 1200 meter, or you can say 1.2 kilometer. Okay. So next question number 4. A truck covers 30 kilometer in the first hour, 40 kilometer in the second hour, and 60 kilometer in the third hour. What is the average speed of the truck during the whole journey? So you see here, the truck covers 30 kilometer in the first hour. So you see that distance is different, but is taking equal interval of time. So the truck actually covers unequal distances in equal interval of time. So the truck undergoes a non-uniform speed, because you see, we know that what is the non-uniform speed. Non-uniform speed, if the object covers unequal distances in equal intervals of time, that time we can say that truck that is the non-uniform speed. So a truck undergoes a non-uniform speed, and therefore so average speed is equal to total distance covered divided by total time taken. So total distance covered means 30 kilometer plus 40 kilometer plus 60 kilometer, and total time taken is first 1 hour, then another one second 1 hour, 1 hour and 1 hour. So actually the total is time taken is 3 hours. So 130 divided by 3, so it will be 43.33 kilometer per hour. Now question number 5. Which speed is more, 90 kilometer per hour or 25 meter per second? So 90 kilometer per hour, you have to convert it in meter per second, or you have to convert it this meter per second to kilometer per hour. So it's better if you convert it to kilometer per hour, because both are in different system of units. So this is actually, you see this kilometer per hour, and this is a meter per second. So you have to convert it in same unit. So means it's better if you converted kilometer per hour to meter per second. So 90 kilometer per hour is equal to 90 kilometer per hour. So 90 into 1000 divided by 3600, so meter per second. So it will be 25 meter per second. So you see this is equal to 25 meter per second, and also it is 25 meter per second. So both the speeds are equal, 25 meter per second and 25 meter per second. So both the speeds are equal. Now this is a few questions is based on the distance and displacement. So first question is an object moves 8 km from point A to point B, and then 6 km from the point B to point C. So see, this distance is 8 km, and A to B is 8 km, and B to C's distance is 6 km. So the distance covered by the object, find the distance covered by the object and the displacement, and each distance is a scalar or a vector quantity. So total distance covered by an object is 8 km plus 6 km, so 14 km. But how to find out the displacement? So displacement, actually the shortest distance in between the initial point to the initial point and final point. So that shortest distance, how can you find out? So the distance between A and C. So AC is equal to root over AB the square plus BC square. So means AB actually the distance between A to B, that is actually AB. So AB is 8 kilometer plus BC is 6 kilometer. So 8 square plus 6 square. So it will be 64 plus 36. So 100. So root over 100 is equals to 10 kilometers. So this is the distance between A to C. So distance is equal to 14 kilometer and displacement is equal to 10 kilometers. So you see here displacement is always lesser than distance. Distance is always greater than displacement. Distance is the both total length traveled by an object is irrespective of the direction. So that's why it is a scalar quantity. But displacement is always describe a displacement. You have to be specify the direction. So that's why displacement is a vector quantity and distance is always a scalar quantity. Okay. Now question number 2 and the last question. Raman moves along the perimeter of a rectangular field. He takes 4 rounds and returns to his starting point A. What distance does he cover and what is his displacement? So in this question you see this figure is also given. So A to B this distance is 3 meter and B to C distance is 1 meter. So distance moved in one round is 2 into 3 plus 1 because this is a this shape is a rectangle. So a rectangle. So that's why what is the formula? 2 into length plus breadth. So this is the length and this is the breadth. So 2 into length plus breadth, then we can find out the perimeter of a rectangle. So 2 into 3 plus 1, so it will be 8 meter. The distance moved in 4 rounds. So Raman takes 4 rounds of this rectangular field. So that's why we have to find multiply with 4. Because 1 round it will be the distance is 8 meters. So but he moved 4 rounds. So in 4 actually 4 into 8 meters. So it will be 32 meter. And Raman returns to his starting point after completing each round of the rectangular field. So that's why we know that displacement is the shortest distance in between that initial and final point. But in this case the starting point and final point both are the same point. So that's why it will be 0. So displacement after 4 rounds it will be 0. Okay. So hope students you understood. So like this way you have to solve all those problems. And next in video class I will discuss that all your exercise question answer and check your progress question answer. So hope students you understand, you please practice it, and these numerical problems you please do. I will provide you as a study material and you please solve in your classwork copy. Hope thank you students, take care, bye, have a good day.